Well, welcome everybody to today's workshop, The 7 Characteristics of a Servant Leader. I am Gail Davis. This is my picture in the upper left-hand screen, and I just wanted to open up with just a little bit of my background so you know, I guess you could say that I've been living the life of a servant leader so that you can know my qualifications and who I really am. Well, you see, I'm a mom, and I'm proud of being a mom. I'm a wife. But I thought I would share, first of all, about my kids, one of my greatest legacies. And the left-hand side of the screen, we have Hannah. She's my youngest. She's in high school at present time. The middle, we have Lydia, who is striving to be an athlete and would like to be a varsity coach, perhaps a gym teacher. She's going to be going off to college this next year. And then Josiah, he's my opera singer in Texas. But basically, for the past 30-some odd years, I have been living the life of a servant leader because I've been working in not-for-profit. And don't anyone fool you. A not-for-profit really means not-for-profit. You see, in that capacity, I'm able to work as a leader, work down in the trenches, get down and dirty, and experience what it really means to experience leadership. 10 years ago, I started my own home-based business because I realized working for a not-for-profit, I didn't have pension or retirement or college fund for the kids. So I've also had the experience of my own business. And then on top of it, I am a certified life coach. So I'd like to share today how you too can become servant leaders. Today's workshop objectives are to take something away to apply to home, whether it be parenting, marriage, community, businesses, and beyond. It is my goal, my hope, that you come away with at least one vital point that you can apply. My husband always teases me when I go to a woman's weekend retreat or something of that nature, and he says, okay, great, but what are you going to apply? And that's my real challenge today to all of you. What are you going to apply from today's workshop? Well, leadership. What is leadership? Well, we all know different leaders out there, but leadership really is influencing. Good, bad, and different. Influencing. We all find ourselves in different leadership roles, whether it be a wife, mother, even a dog trainer, a coach, a teacher, a nurse. All of those are leadership positions. The old model of leadership was do as I say, and if I want your opinion, I will ask of you. I think we know a lot of the old model, giving the orders, the edicts, and the rules, whether it be Donald Trump or Leona Helmsley or Martha Stewart. We all know their reputations that basically go well before them. Well, back in the 1970s, Simon Greenleaf came on the scene. For many, many years, he had been a vice president of AT&T, and he was very astute, studying the workers, the leaders, the management all around him. And he was penning essays and articles and seeing that those that served were more effective as leaders. Again, let me say that. Those that served their team, others, became more effective as leaders. So in the 1970s, he started publishing many of his essays, one of which was on becoming a servant leader. As a result of Simon Greenleaf, his works were very pivotal in influencing thousands and thousands of businesses as we know them today. Well, for many years, the servant model was a model that was being followed. Perhaps you might know the most recent Pope, Pope Francis, and how he started to wash the feet of women and juvenile delinquents and those outside of his faith. So he most recently made the news as a servant leader model. But in ancient times, this concept was so embedded within most every culture and religion. As far back as 2,000 years ago, In fact, even more than that. In 600 BC, the greatest leader forgets himself and attends to the development of others. In 375 BC, the leader shall consider as good not what pleases himself, but what pleases his subjects. The Talmud speaks about how men are responsible for one another, and then there's numerous Islamic texts talking about the greatest leader forgets himself and attends to the development of others. Also, it's stated elsewhere, a desire for your brother, what you desire for yourself. Well, then we have the Golden Rule, and I think everybody on today's webinar is familiar with the Golden Rule from the ancient pages of Christianity. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. I think even as parents, we tell that to our kids. Now be good to your brother because you want him to be good to you. You know what I'm talking about. We talk about it. I guess my question is, do we put it in place in the workplace? So what servant leadership is not. It's not being a doormat. It's not cooking, cleaning, slaving, making coffee, and basically waiting on others hand and foot. Critics often say it's warm and fuzzy. It's for the feeble and weak. Servant leadership is not letting the prisoners run the prison. I think we're all familiar with some of the examples of servant leadership. As I previously said, it's embedded in most cultures and religions. I would like to say it's embedded in all cultures and religions, but I really did not do a thorough comparative religion study in preparation for today. So I can't say that, but I would bet my bottom dollar it's in most. We're familiar with Mother Teresa. Some of her writings talk about there is a joy in transcending self to serve others. She did not care about wealth. She did not care about status or recognition, yet success came her way. And then we have Gandhi, who was able to share with the population of India, who was under the leadership of Britain at the time, but he was able to really pursue a nonviolent approach. An amazing man. For those who have Netflix, I encourage you to watch the movie Gandhi or go to your library and get the video Gandhi. It's well worth your time. And then Martin Luther King Jr. That's a whole other presentation I could spend on servant leadership and what a legacy he left his people. And then, of course, we have Jesus Christ. Doesn't make a difference what background you come from. Even the world's greatest atheists admit he's one of the world's greatest leaders. Ken Blanchard, a great author, talks about how Jesus transformed 12 ordinary and unlikely people into the first generation of leaders of a movement that continues to affect the course of world history some 2,000 years later. So my question to you is, would you hire Jesus as a consultant? I know I would. He worked with imperfect people. He trained, he delegated, he developed a team of unlikely individuals. He was under constant scrutiny and attack. He handled oppositions, and he lived in a multicultural environment. Even businesses today are adapting Greenleaf's model of servant leadership. Toro talks about, we believe our leadership and success bring with it a responsibility to give back. Wegmans was ranked number 5 by Fortune in 2009 as one of the best companies to work for. In fact, I've spent a lot of time in Wegmans supermarkets. I love shopping Wegmans, and the staff, the clerks, they aim to please. Perhaps you're familiar with Southwest. Over 38 years ago it was founded with the lowest fares, with a good time, and people work hard and have fun. Then we have Hershen Family Entertainment. Perhaps you know Joel Manby of Undercover Boss fame. He was a former Saab CEO. The mission of Hershen Family Entertainment, perhaps you're familiar with Dollywood, or Stone Mountain, Atlanta, or even Newport Aquarium. They have tons of family centers. Their mission is creating memories worth repeating, but within their mission statement, it states, we serve others by working as a team and empowering each other, by being patient, kind, humble, respectful, selfless, forgiving, honest, and committed. So even today, businesses are adopting the servant leader model. So let me ask you for a moment as we take time to reflect, who has most influenced your thinking, your behavior, and life path? Was it perhaps someone who was following the model of doing unto others as you would have others do unto you? So what I'd like to talk about in the last few minutes is the characteristics of a servant leader. Well, first of all, there's the inner quality or character. My question is, who are you when no one is looking? There's a gal I know that was part of my team for a short while, and I have to emphasize short while, when it became really obvious that she believed it was okay to lie and cheat and steal your way to success. Well, my question is, are you doing what you said you would do? You're talking about trust, but are you someone who's trustworthy? General Norman Schwarzkopf, a quote, 99% of leadership failures are character failures. Who are you when no one is looking? Dennis Waitley states, integrity means you do what you do because it's right and not just fashionable or politically correct. So the first step in being a servant leader is self-examination. Basically, who are you at home when no one's looking? Stephen Covey states, people with integrity are those whose words match their deeds and whose behaviors mirror values. Their honesty and integrity can be trusted unconditionally. Doing the right thing at the right time for the right reason. Challenge I give to all of you today is, do you maintain integrity? Do you return phone calls? Do you keep promises? And do you admit mistakes? Secondly, leading by example, willing to get down and dirty. Well, what's in your heart flows out in word, action, and deeds. What you think about, you become. A servant leader gets dirty and will experience all aspects of the job. And speaking of dirty, this is billionaire Roger Barnett. Perhaps you know him of Burberry fame. He was also a speaker at the World Economic Forum. He's a board member of the Metropolitan Opera, and he's the current CEO, president of the Shaklee Corporation. Well, his corporation had a project called A Million Trees, A Million Dreams, to plant 1 million trees. Well, he's a person of action. He's getting down and dirty. What's good for his team is good for him. Thirdly, to be a good listener. Do you really want to hear and to understand? It's so hard to listen. It's so hard amidst all the noise, all the chaos. But there's levels to listening. Are you just nodding, yeah? Or are you thinking about what you're going to say next? Or perhaps you're making assumptions of what they're really saying. Or are you willing to walk in their shoes? And this is a perfect segue to empathy, genuine love and empathy for others. James Hunger, in the book The World's Most Powerful Leadership Principle, speaks about how many times when he's giving leadership seminars, he asks the participants, what are the characteristics of leadership? And inevitably, they come up with the same list over and over and over. Well, it wasn't until one day when he was at a wedding and the minister was reading the love chapter. Perhaps you're familiar with it. Love is patient. Love is kind and is not jealous. Love does not brag and is not arrogant. Does not act unbecomingly. It does not seek its own. It is not provoked. Does not take into account a wrong suffered. Does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth. Bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. And that's when James Hunger had the light bulb moment, the aha moment, and he realized the list of leadership qualities was the same. So my question now is, am I patient even when I'm stressed? Am I kind even when working with the unkind? Do I envy and jealous someone's success? Do I brag and boast, hey, I just got this certification, or I just did this, or I just did that? Well, these qualities could possibly save a marriage. They could possibly help propel you in your job, change the world, and do so much more. The next characteristic of a servant leader is foresight and vision. Can you imagine ancient explorers saying, hey, follow me. I don't know where I'm going. I'm going on a trip. Not sure where it's going to end. That wouldn't really hold. Leaders need to be living and walking the walk. And as they cast the vision, they are trustworthy and people will want to follow you. My encouragement is spend time creating a vision statement. Well, my vision is to help individuals and organizations live God-inspired lives of purposefulness and dreams. One of the ways we're achieving this is we're in the process of building a retreat center in Northeast Pennsylvania, open to ministers, missionaries, Christian workers, single-parent families, those part of my team where we can create vision, where we can help discover your purpose, where we can live a life of fullness and dreams. What is your vision? People follow a leader with a dream, with a vision. Do you have a vision worthy of being followed? Communicator. Well, communication is more than just body language. It's vocal variety. It's the clothes you wear. How do you come across? Are you edifying and complimentary, or are you destroying? Are you truly connecting with people? An organization I highly recommend is called Toastmasters. And Toastmasters, international organization, teaches communication and public speaking. But communication really goes hand in hand with listening. And the seventh characteristic is to become a lifelong learner. Leaders are readers. There's so much out there today. I encourage you to enroll in online classes. There's a great class organization called Coursera, COURSERA.org. Perhaps find a mentor, but become a lifelong learner. So let's rate yourself. Are you a person of inner quality and integrity? Do you put your words into action? How are you at listening? How are you at loving and understanding others? Creating vision, communicating, and learning. Well, for further resources and some suggestions, I love the books by John Maxwell, Stephen Covey, Dave Ramsey. Again, a class, online class, Coursera.org. Or perhaps it might be time to volunteer for a not-for-profit. Oh my goodness, this is such a tremendous way to learn how to serve others. So I'd like to offer you a gift. For those who have not taken advantage of my free discovery coaching session, as a life coach, it is my desire to serve others and help you find your passion, your fullness, your purpose, your dreams. Perhaps you need help discovering your leadership quotient. Secondly, I'm making available a set of leadership webinars, of which this is part of it. If you'd like to acquire the other part of the set, please email me, and I'll have my email address on the screen in a moment. And thirdly, at my website, hisassociates.com, under leadership, I have a leadership quotient quiz that you can upload. Your homework. Think in terms of giving a speech. Perhaps you're not a public speaker. Again, Toastmasters is a great organization. But imagine a few years from now, you're giving a speech about the leadership legacy you have left. What would be the key points? Food for thought, point to ponder. And lastly, how may I serve you? On the screen is my website and my email, info@hisassociates.com. Again, this is Gail Davis, and how may I serve you?